Board of Commissioners meeting to order, please. Roll call.
Carter. Here. Modis Castillo. Here. McGuire. Here. Ortega.
Aye.
Reinhardt. Here. McDonough.
Here. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First item is the approval of the agenda for August 20th, but I would like item 6 to be removed from the agenda. We're just not ready to move forward on that since we've done the work. County manager and our team has been aware of ongoing issues associated with the potential contract extension between Ramsey County and Family Place. And I will be reaching out to the board chair of Family Place. Our staff will continue to engage with Family Place to give us a better sense of exactly where we're at with the potential of this contract between the two entities. I want to make sure that recognizing the concerns of the start of the school year and possible disruption of day services for homeless family, Ramsey County staff will be working directly with existing shelter providers on options to ensure continuity while discussions with Family Place continues. So in the best interest of moving forward, we'll remove that item today. So I would ask for an approval of the agenda with the removal of item 6 from the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ortega.
Aye.
Reinhardt. Aye. Carter?
Yes.
Modis Castillo?
Aye.
McGuire?
Aye.
McDonough?
Aye. And just to be clear, that was to actually remove item 6 from the agenda. I think I worded that a little bit wrong, but that vote was to remove item 6. Now I'll ask for a motion to approve the vote of the agenda as amended.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Ortega?
Aye.
Reinhardt?
Aye.
Carter?
Yes.
Modis Castillo?
Yes.
McGuire?
Aye.
McDonough?
Aye. Jeff, are we okay? We're fine. All right. Commissioner
Mr. Chair,
Reinhardt.
I just know how much work staff put into all of that, and I just want to acknowledge how much we appreciate that.
Yep. Thank you. Yep.
And
that
this will
work
come back
continue.
to us,
Well, 3 weeks would
Okay.
be the next time.
okay.
We'll have in 3 weeks, we'll have a really good
Hopefully,
sense.
it'll all be
But
completed by then.
Paul and Max and the team will continue to work not only with Family Place, but with the community about how to ensure we continue services.
Thank you.
All right, with that, we're going to move on to approval of the minutes from August 13th, please.
So moved.
Second.
We have motion second. Any corrections? Roll call.
Ortega?
Aye.
Reinhardt?
Aye.
Carter?
Yes.
Modis Castillo?
Yes.
McGuire?
Aye.
McDonough?
Aye. So before we move into the administrative items, I have to come clean with my colleagues. I did not put my hearing aids in this morning, and that may be a problem today. You might look at, he looks a little confused. I might be a little confused because I do not have my hearing aids, and it makes a big difference for me. So with that, Commissioner Ortega, you have the administrative items.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move items number 5, 6,
No.
No, 6 has been,
I'm sorry, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Second.
perfect. Roll call.
Ortega?
Aye.
Reinhardt?
Aye.
Carter?
Yes.
Modis Castillo?
Yes.
McGuire?
Aye.
McDonough?
Aye. County Connections, County Manager Gerald Cotter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, one item that you just approved, I wanted to go back and briefly highlight. Item 9 on your agenda today in the administrative items. This has been a piece, this is just a final follow-up, pretty rudimentary on the back end, but worth just calling out for the great work out of property tax and records and election services, the entire information public records team, policy and planning. A while ago, we had 115% as the definition of affordability for policies related to the sale of tax forfeited land. We've slid that to now be at 80% of AMI, area median income, which was a big deal. When this policy was set 5 years ago, I think we were living in a different time and space. And so there's more detail on administrative item 9, but the move from 115 to 80%, and then there was some language that we needed to change around affordability restrictions on deed covenants and how that all plays. And just a shout out to staff for working through these issues to be sure that the use of our tax forfeited properties when they go up for sale and the opportunities and incentives built in to bring affordability to the market are actually affordable at 80% of AMI. 2 other quick updates for you. I just want to continue to highlight for the public, and I'm going to probably bring this up as a recurring theme as we go at different times. Through the budget process, we often hear, where is Ramsey County's information? Where can we find out more about what's going on with the organization, whether programmatically or on the spending side? opendata.ramseycounty.us, opendata.ramseycounty.us, or you can just go to ramseycounty.us and type in open data. Has a ton of work on our open data portal. 3 new or recently updated stories just went up around our primary election turnout, small business enterprise utilization, and beach water quality. And I want to be clear and say, these are not always good stories in terms of it's only highlighting good stuff. If you look at our small business enterprise utilization, and then we get questions around why have conversations and focus on issues like race and gender equity in our work? Well, what you see is our small business spend has increased, but we still see relatively small numbers when it comes to small minority-owned business enterprise and women-owned minority-owned businesses. We talked about that in a workshop recently. But I just want to highlight both the importance of connecting our data to our strategic and implementation work, and opendata.ramseycounty.us is one of the key spots from where we drive. And I had one other update, and it totally left my mind. And so if I think of it later, Mr. Chair, I'll tap you on the shoulder. Thank you.
Well, that wouldn't be our precedence. We have come back for round two of updates. So, Commissioner Ortega, any outside board and committee updates?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Last week I spent 2 days in Colorado attending sort of like a training at the Transportation Technology Center, and it was in the south of Pueblo, Colorado, so pretty much in the desert. And but they had some great training, and there is 3 federal pots of money that I spoke with Ryan that I will forward to our management security so we could send out people to train for emergency, and especially with the ownership of the Union Depot, I think
Yeah.
we should be more prepared.
Good, good, good. Commissioner Reinhardt, outside board and committee reports.
Yes, there was a lot that went on. And some of these I know that others will be talking about as well. One item that we do, and I think it's really an interesting process, is a canvassing board. And so I was able to actually be designee for Commissioner McGuire, and the results of the primary election in County Commissioner District 1 were approved and went through the canvassing process. But it's a really, when you think about the electoral process in this country, to be able to have those checks and balances right down to that canvassing board, I think is really pretty amazing. Our system is pretty amazing. I was at the, and I know that Commissioner Matas Castillo will talk about this, but the Rice and Larpenteur Block Party was so much fun. And the day was gorgeous. Got to do some painting. My granddaughter got to do some painting on the asphalt, and I'm excited to go back and see what the finished product looks like, because I'm sure it's going to be really fun. The planting of the planters that was being done, there was so much activity there that it was kind of hard to take it all in. But just had a wonderful time. The community, the neighborhood pride is so obvious in everything that goes on in that area, and there's a lot of reasons to be proud with the way things are pulling together there, from the business sector to the cities, St. Paul, Maplewood, Roseville, everybody coming together to do what we need to do there for the community. I also was at the Mayor Carter's budget address at the Frogtown Community Center. What a wonderful facility! And again, I'm gonna defer here. The Clean Water Council met yesterday, and there's a lot really going on there as far as policy issues. One of the issues that came up was about, it was about credits for environmental water credits in different point source to non-point source, and trying to figure out how do we get the best outcomes for the water in our state. And one of the issues that is something that I've been working on actually since before I went to Sweden was on harmful algae bloom. And I know that doesn't sound terribly exciting, but when you think about the water quality and fishability and just the beauty of the water, the health of the water, the harmful algae bloom is a big deal. And there is a company that is, the technology was here from Minnesota, I thought the company was, but I think it's just the technology that doesn't use chemicals. It uses an ultrasonic sound technology. And so I'm hoping that we can get more information on that. It's such a big issue, and you just have to tackle it kind of one thing at a time in many ways. And so if we can deal with that issue, and then we have to deal with cover crops and all kinds of things. The Clean Water Council is a really amazing group of people from across the state, and I'm really proud to be a part of it.
Great. Thank you.
Awesome.
Commissioner Mattis Castillo.
Well, thanks. Thank you, Commissioner, for teeing me up so well. So just adding on the Rice Larpenter event, it was a fantastic event, and Commissioner McGuire was there as well, and we had representatives from all 3 cities as well. But probably one part that was most exciting to me is Danny Givens Jr., who is part of our Healing Streets project here at the county, came and really engaged the community, because that community needs some healing from gun violence and crime that's occurred. And so he did a great job connecting with businesses and community members and really working to what are our next steps. So he'll be leading a series of community meals and gatherings for healing, and the community is super involved. And while I was out there, I'll just shout out to Public Works. They did a great job on our restriping of Larpenter Avenue. I was out again yesterday and crossed the sidewalk, and cars are stopping at the crosswalk. It's amazing. And the car flow is beautiful and slow. And so thank you, Public Works, for making Larpenter safe. It definitely helped during our community gathering. People were crossing, cars were stopping. It was amazing. And while I'm on that, also Maryland Avenue is in the process of getting restriped. That started yesterday. And I was able, for the first time in 15 years, able to cross Maryland at Burr Street safely, which is pretty amazing. So thank you for that work, Public Works. I also was able to attend a Pies on the Prairie event with the Hamlin Midway Coalition, where they've done some prairie restoration along Pierce Butler, and that was on Saturday. And that prairie restoration was done with the Capital Regional Watershed and Ramsey County together. And so to see those plants out and that restoration happening even along our roadways, it was quite remarkable. Lots of community members came out. We made some art from the plants and ate pie. It was pretty awesome. And Saturday was a good day to do that. So, and then I just want to also mention that I attended the Metro Regional Veterans Stand Down on Friday. So each year in the Metro, we hold a large event to serve our homeless veterans. And Ramsey County had participants there. Our staff was there to meet with veterans who are experiencing homelessness. We currently have 44 veterans in Ramsey County that are on the homeless registry. So we are working really hard. That number seems to be sticking the same, but I'll just say that it's actually growing as we help people, because we're able to reach more veterans. We've hired Chris Vinden that's doing street outreach and is doing a really good job. So when that number goes up a little bit, it means he's doing his job well. And so I want to give a shout out in that area that we're working to end veteran homelessness as well.
Good. Thank you. Commissioner Carter.
Oh, thank you. I will just mention a couple of things. One is that we were there as a board together, commemorating the work that we have done in Ramsey County at Boys Totem Town over these past 100+ years, and want to just give a big thanks to all of those who were there with us, both to commemorate that work and to look forward. And that would include people from our community, a few from the neighborhood. All of our staff and leadership were represented. And I think there was a very good sense of good things that have happened, even better things that can happen, and all of the work that's gone into that. So it's been a journey that we've been on, and it continues. Thank you to all who've made this possible, including, and of course, this board for its policy setting direction toward transformation and toward prevention. So we are working together to get there. I also want to mention that I and Commissioner McDonough and Commissioner McGuire attended the Association of Minnesota Counties retreat and board meeting, strategic planning retreat and board meeting this past week. I know that the two of you will talk more about that. I just say the highlight was building a county voice on transportation funding. And it was an incredible exercise that I, hope we can bring to our districts. The other districts, of course, have many different counties working together. But the strength of building that voice and really seeing the consensus that exists for the transportation funding, comprehensive transportation funding that we need, including for transit, of course, and not just in the metro area, but across the state. To hear that sort of voice developing and to actually go through this exercise that looked at the various sources, potential sources of funding, and gave county commissioners a chance to manipulate those configurations. It was exciting, and I think it did develop the sort of ownership that each one of us wants to be able to have and to represent as we move forward in this next session beyond, to ensure that we have the kind of funding we need for transportation. So great meeting, and I know that you all will talk about the board meeting as well, so I'll pass the mantle on.
Commissioner McGuire.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair, and I will just give a few highlights of events that we've all have been mentioned already, but I do want to talk a little bit about them, just to follow up on our strategic planning session that we did have at AMC. It really was exciting. To give a shout out to the Office of Mediation Services that brought Dave Bartholomew and Mariah in to really facilitate the conversation, and it's about having challenging conversations. And every county believes that we've talked to, wants transportation funding, but it's just, where does it come from? And so it was having that tough conversation, and I'm encouraged by it. I know Commissioner McDonough, and Commissioner Carter and I are encouraged that we can have these tough conversations, and we used it as an example of other conversations that we're going to want to have in the future. So we're really excited about moving forward in those areas with our entire statewide organization, because we are more powerful at the legislature and in Congress when we can speak with one voice. So it was a great strategic planning session. Also, the Boys Totem Town ceremony, what an amazing event. I said we made history in really listening to the community. It was a community and staff-driven transition that said we really want something different for our boys, and I am just so proud of our county and the staff and the people, the neighbors, everyone that really made that happen. And it was a very powerful ceremony. I think we were all there for a long time, and it was worth every minute that we were there to recognize and hear from the people there. So great job on the transitioning forward of working with our boys in our community. Also, the Rice and Larpenteur event was a great event. It was a beautiful Saturday for that, and just a shout out to everyone who made it happen. Our Rice Larpenteur Alliance and all the partners there with our 3 cities, and just all of our businesses there. I want to give a shout out. There were businesses there that gave away, like Caribou was there and had free coffee and drinks for everyone, and the Thai restaurants that were there, and the thrift store that had a great rack of clothes so people could dress up and take pictures, and it was just a great coming together of that area of Rice and Larpenteur, and just really excited for the work. The Blue Saloon donated them great music, so
Don't forget the pizza.
and the pizza. Oh my gosh! I didn't have the pizza, but yes, it was great pizza. I'm sure. Just all the partners that were there just made it all work, and just thanks to everyone who had a leadership position in making that happen. It was a great effort. So also, I just want to say that Mounds View had their festival day in the park, so that was exciting. And the Minnesota State Fair is starting on Thursday, our big state fair in Ramsey County. So we know we're going to be hosting thousands and thousands of people in the next, starting on Thursday, the next 10 days. And so that's a great event. And I just want to say that tomorrow on Wednesday, the Transportation Advisory Board is meeting to have information regarding our solicitation, our regional solicitation process, and the scoring that we're going to use to award projects. And this is a really exciting time. We had a task force working on it, so we're now going to be presenting it to the entire board. And you know how that that will be exciting. We just want to encourage all of our board members to accept the equity provisions that we've been putting in place. So I'll let you know. It's in for information tomorrow, and then next month will be the vote on it. And I just, I want to thank Brian Isaacson. He's been serving on our technical advisory committee, and he's been keeping me posted on how this all affects Ramsey County. So more to come on that great movement forward.
Great, thank you. All right, we'll move immediately into a Regional Rail Authority meeting. And then at 9:45, our County Board Workshop, Transforming Systems Together. 1 p.m., Commissioner Reinhardt will continue chairing the Budget Committee of the Whole, and will
to engage and had great turnout and attendance. I presented for about an hour on each one, talked about the process by which the budget is built, how we developed it, and then had an hour for Q&A and discussion. And it was a good opportunity for people to see parts of the county they don't always see, and it's a reminder that what happens out in Arden Hills is not always the same as the East Building or Metro Square or the Parks Department. And in all cases, I think the questions were both real and challenging and important to have, as well as so many of our employees are residents as well. So many of the conversations we have in other places we had with our own staff teams about the trade-offs we make and the challenges to get there. So it was a neat opportunity to do it. Happy to share more if you'd like it, but thanks for letting me come back for round two.
absolutely. All right, no further business. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.